Welcome to the Talking Reliability podcast, where the future of maintenance meets the power of sound. Hosted by Chris Hallum from UE Systems, we're diving deep into the world of predictive maintenance, asset reliability, and cutting-edge ultrasound technology. Whether you're on the plant floor or leading reliability strategies, pull up a chair, or better yet, grab your hard hat, because we're bringing you real talk, real stories, and real insights from the experts who keep industries running. Let's crank up the volume on reliability.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the final episode of Talking Reliability Season 1. Thanks for joining us today, and it's been a great journey over the past 20 weeks, being able to provide these episodes for you, our listeners, with what I hope has been valuable, insightful content. And as part of today's episode, what I wanted to do is kind of review what we've been talking about over the past 20 weeks, over the past 9-10 episodes, and also think about how all of this information can culminate in the actual Talking Reliability live event that's coming up on the 2nd of October. So, I mean, if we look back all the way back to when we first began, we had episodes starting with my good friend James Sylvester, where we were talking about what is reliability. And even to this day, I'm still having many conversations with different industry experts and people in the field of reliability trying to define what is reliability. And I think we came to the conclusion realistically that reliability is not a job title. It's not a task as such, but it's a way of life. It's part of everybody's responsibility, the world of reliability. We shouldn't be putting it on one person's shoulders and expecting them to help our plant become more reliable on their own. And that's kind of been enshrined throughout all of the episodes that we've seen. And James put it perfectly in our first episode together, where he elaborated on that. And the following episodes we had after this was kind of looking at our partnerships with my colleagues in UE Systems about the world of ultrasound, the benefits behind what the technology could do, how versatile it was, but also using them to discuss how we build strong CBM programs, from my colleagues Jeremy Bay and Joe Edlin, who are based out in North America, that do this work day in, day out, sharing those insights with key customers and users of the technology. And those episodes culminated in a discussion around the future of ultrasound technology with my good colleague Alex Cooper, sharing how ultrasound has moved into the world of IoT, looking at condition-based lubrication practices and how we can change the way that people actually lubricate these days. Even to this day, you know, people still debate on what is the right way forward. How much, how often is too much, too little, things like that. And that's where the on-track system solution from UE Systems was discussed, and hopefully shared some valuable insights to people about those sort of things. And as we went through these episodes, we kind of introduced then another topic area of the PDM technologies. We'd already spoken about ultrasound as one of the PDM approaches, but also things like thermal imaging from FLIR with our good partner Jason Cargill, exploring the advantages of utilizing thermal imaging, and also with my good friend Jade Thompson from SKF, talking about oil analysis and where oil analysis fits into that world of PDM. And looking at all these technologies, you can see where not one technology is ever going to fit all of your needs. And it's about identifying the types of failure modes, the types of problems we've got, and understanding in what combination do we want to use these technologies to help us get the best data, so that we as engineers can then justify our calls for actually wanting that downtime. It's that maintenance versus operations argument all over again, isn't it? Operations want to keep that thing running. They want product coming out the line, but we can see that there's something that's telling us that that line could actually fall down during operations that could have a massive impact. So those discussions around those technologies was really insightful, I hope, for people. And again, giving snippets back to people about what they should really be considering if they're actually moving into this field as well. And with all of that, we started going on to other episodes where we actually then looked at data driven maintenance. We have all of these PDM technologies that we're utilizing to collect data. And how do we display that data? How do we understand what the right prescriptive action should be? And that's where a good colleague and a good friend of mine over the years, Luke Grice-Lowe, came on board from Multisensor AI and shared what he had done in previous jobs and careers within industry, mostly looking at conveyor systems and delivery systems and things like that. And that was really insightful because a lot of people look at time-based maintenance and maybe look at condition-based maintenance as well. But using the data to drive your actions is more realistic way of looking at things in this modern age of technology and IoT. And that was a great presentation and talk that we had together over that, which led quite nicely into one of our next episodes with Vinnie Hall from Catalent Pharmaceuticals, where we started looking at reviewing our equipment performance and taking data to help us drive our decisions on what we do, talking about FAMICAs, about RCA, and how we correctly deploy them. And I think all of these episodes combined give people that are new to the world of reliability something really important to consider and to realize that there's not one shoe size that fits all. It really depends on the type of industry, the type of assets that you have, and what are your key problem areas and how we can tackle them. And I think it was very clear from the last few episodes that going headfirst into a PDM program, a predictive maintenance program, by utilizing technology may not actually be effective unless you do all of the basics first. And again, from a lot of the episodes, a lot of the talks was around getting the basics right first. Are we actually looking at the simple things that we take for granted, and are we doing them correctly and doing it in the most appropriate fashion? So the world of reliability is always changing. New technologies come to market as new innovations are made, and technology is just one small part of the reliability world. If we can get our strategy in place and we can get all of our goals set up and understand the problems that we faced, we can then put together a plan with these technologies to help us then drive the right data, get the right information in place, and actually then make the right prescriptive actions. And with all of that in tow, a lot of things come back to the word culture. And I had this recently at a gathering of reliability professionals recently, in a pub actually, over a drink. Best place to chew the fat and air our grievances and our problems and actually discuss how we actually get over those. And culture was one of the biggest topics that we spoke about. What is it with culture that prevents us from, making progress? Why do our reliability programs fail? Because a lot of times people in industry will want to implement this sort of thing, maybe get it running to start with, but then 6 months to a year down the line, the same issues are arising and the same issues are being felt. And people then look at it and say that this isn't working and they go back to the way things are. And again, it leads back to culture. And something that was quite interestingly raised at the time was around the culture and how people are rewarded on certain key metrics. Is that the level of uptime on the production line? Is it the number of products that are provided or manufactured? Because you could push and have a fully reactive production line, meet your targets of getting that production up, but in between that, the level of unscheduled downtime has been huge and come at great significant cost. But nobody maybe was questioned around the amount of cost that was required to keep that thing running. Whereas a smaller investment in a reliability based strategy could have actually been more cost effective to still get the same outcomes. Also approaching those sort of questions where people say, well, we've always done it this way and it's always been okay. Is that the right way to go about things? Maybe not. Giving more ownership and accountability to their tasks could help change that mindset. But also, a funny one was raised with a user in industry that was saying about people relying on overtime pay to actually help them, you know, achieve their monthly salaries or pay their bills and whatnot, and people enjoying the idea of being that guy that comes in out of hours and, rescues the day. Whereas, why don't we maybe think about rewarding them for doing that actually in their normal working hours? Are there ways we can provide incentives to actually help them keep those assets as available and reliable as we want them to be, avoiding those unscheduled downtimes and those call outs? It's an area culture that I think is something that's always going to be a challenge. In my experience of dealing with ultrasound programs and providing that to industry, it's not been the challenge of convincing people on the technology front, but it's actually been trying to convince them that changing what they do will actually benefit them. And I think that is the hardest thing with any aspect of a reliability program is selling change. We as human beings don't like change. We like to be in our comfort zones. We like what we know. And the things that we don't know, we're afraid of. And we're more apprehensive to be inclined to do something with that if we don't understand it or don't know it or have never done it, in my opinion. So that's where Talking Reliability Live came from. I was quite candidly sat in a pub, cold January morning, afternoon, evening time it was, not the morning. I'm not a drinker full time, I'll promise you that. But we were sat there with some colleagues on an evening talking about what can we do to help people understand or educate people on how change is good. And that's where one of my colleagues came up with the idea of, well, why don't we just do a podcast and call it Talking Reliability? And that's where this came from. And we decided that it would culminate in an event called Talking Reliability Live. So we talk about all of these subjects in these episodes about all the aspects and topic areas, and there's still many more that we need to discuss. But Talking Reliability Live will bring together industry experts and technology leaders where we discuss all of these challenges. And some people on this event will be sharing the challenges they faced and how they overcame them. So I believe that this will be a fantastic event for those of you that are in the same field with the same interests that maybe keep coming up against the same blockers day in, day out, and wonder, is there a different way that I can do things to get what I want to achieve? So on the 2nd of October, at the Birchwood Engine Rooms in Warrington, we have Talking Reliability Live. We'll be talking about things like culture, about data-driven maintenance approaches. We'll be discussing the correct use of FAMICAs and RCAs as part of your reliability programs. And we'll be sharing information and knowledge on PDM technologies that can help you as part of those programs as well. It'll all culminate at the end of the day in a Q&A session with some industry experts that will be presenting on the day. And there'll be food and beverages available throughout the day with nice breakout sessions where you can actually get to meet these people and discuss the challenges that you face maybe, or even quiz them about what they've done or what their opinion is on certain topics that you might have concerns with. So I look forward to seeing you there on the 2nd of October at the Engine Rooms in Birchwood in Warrington. You can still sign up today. There's still places available, and I look forward to seeing you. And I will be your host for the day, along with other members of UE Systems. And I'd also like to thank all of the people that have contributed to all of the episodes of Talking Reliability and all those that are helping us with making the day a success on the 2nd of October. So look forward to seeing you there. And until now, I will sign off. This is season 1 done, and season 2 will be coming soon. We will be talking about things like generative AI in reliability. We'll be talking further about culture and many other aspects. And if you have a good story that you would like to tell, then you can always reach out to me and be a guest in season 2. So for now, take care, and I will see you again soon. Thanks for listening. Bye bye.